Dash with Carol Dixon is all about life and how to live that life positively, productively, and prayerfully. After decades of ministry, Dr. Dixon is qualified to address any topic of life from a biblical perspective. Let's listen now as Dr. Dixon shares nuggets with us about
God can use your mistakes for His good.
Hello, Dash, all over the world. Feels good, feels so good. Do you know God can use your mistakes for His good? Yeah, let's face it. You and I do foolish things from time to time. You know what? We make mistakes. Romans 8:28 says, we know that in all things God works for good with those who love Him, those whom He has called according to His purpose. Well, I found out when you realize that and you walk in that, you know nothing you have ever done, nothing you will ever do is beyond the capacity of God to use it. You make mistakes, but God doesn't. The Bible says it. Romans 8:28, I just read it. We know that in all things God works for good, and with those who love Him, those whom He has called according to His purpose. When you make a foolish mistake, you know what? God says, I can fit that in too. I can use it all for good. I want to be clear though, this isn't a promise for everyone. The verse doesn't say God works everything out for good for those living in rebellion against Him or for those who aren't living for His purposes. The promise is for people who come to God and say, I want to live for your purposes. I don't always get it right, but I want to do the right thing. I want to follow you and I want to trust you. Do that and God will take it all and use it for His good. That's a reason for joy. Yes it is. When you put your life in God's hands, it doesn't mean you'll never goof up again. You're still, gonna make some bad decisions. Sorry to say. But you know what? In the fact that you'll still mess up, God can fit it all into His plans. He knew from the very beginning. We're predestined. God can fit it all in. But let me tell you, there is no plan B for your life. God knew all the mistakes you'd make before you were born. He also knew He fit those mistakes into His plan. That means you can relax. You can stop being anxious. You can move into the new year. You can move into the new level. You can move into this new timing. You can move into whatever God has for you. Trusting God's grace is active in your life. Do your best with what God has given you. God will work everything into His plan. I am Carol Dixon, and this is Dash.
We know you have been inspired. Your faith has been built, giving you a new perspective. Tell someone about Dash with Carol Dixon podcast. Someone you know needs to tune in. We're always on 24/7. Spread the word, won't you? We're helping you and many others with a positive, productive, and prayerful word. Thank you for joining us today. Take a moment now to leave a rating, review, and subscribe to our podcast app. On behalf of the entire team, thanks for listening to Dash with Carol Dixon.